Apple Medical College Hospital in Bijapur, Karnataka. He's got postgraduate diploma in geriatric medicine, certificate course in palliative care. He has completed trainee short course in gerontology from United Nations. He's also a fellow of Geriatric Society of India. He's got MSc in dementia from Scotland University of Stirling. He's on editorial board of Geriatric Care textbook. He's advisor Indian Journal of Geriatric Care and has many awards, orations and international publications and presentations on his name. I request Dr. Anand to give his talk on active aging.
Respected chairpersons, thank you for those kind words. And the senior members in the August gathering and immediate friends, a very good morning to all. Disclaimer is that I will be encroaching a few minutes of your tea time, so please bear with me. Sir, thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to share my views on a very hot topic as of now is active aging. I bring greetings to you from Geriatric Clinic of Shri B.R. Pachal Medical College Hospital and Research Center, where we have a geriatric clinic for last 10 years and a dementia clinic as well as a pain clinic caters the needs of the older people. Most of the times in our geriatric clinic, we come across the people who have retired recently and they come and ask, sir, what should I do next? Me at the retired, hello, me kai karu? The very spontaneous answer comes from me is, start working. Atadun kaam kara. And after a few minutes, the reply comes, you want me to work again? I have been working for last 25 years and you want me to work again? What is this, doctor? The whole concept of we telling them to keep working is to be active throughout their whatever life is remaining, maybe 25 years next. So the concept of active aging by World Health Organization way back in 2002 was sitting idle. And again in 2012, it came with a framework giving a slogan as well as a design which shows multiple hands that celebrate the world wide the contribution by the older people to the society, themselves, and for their family at large. Initially, a word called successful aging came into force by gerontologists and geriatricians all over the world, which later disappeared. Then word called productive aging came, which didn't sustain much of the policymakers, so it got disappeared. Then the word term healthy aging came into force. Much of has been publicized on that, but again it didn't sustain the gerontologists and geriatricians all over the world. Again it got disappeared. Successful aging, the word got disappeared. What remained as of now still is active aging, and the framework has been brought by World Health Organization, which is on the website. It can be downloaded. What actually active aging means. Active aging is defined by World Health Organization as opportunity for health, participation, and security. These are the three most important things an older person can have in his lifetime, in the remaining life after 60 plus. And it is mainly to enhance the quality of life. As a geriatrics practice, I hope that Dr. Sandeep also agrees with it. What we aim is at the quality of life of the older people rather than anything else. We are not here to prolong the life, we are not here to take out the diseases or cure the diseases. The main aim for a geriatrician is to improve the quality of life, and for that we have three things to be done, taken care: health, participation, and security of the older people. Again, WHO went a step forward to define what is active. Some people say, yes, I work every day, 4 hours a day, 5 hours a day. It doesn't make me active. No. Just mere doing the work, the same work you have been doing for last 20 years or 30 years doesn't make you active. You could be called active only if you are participative in a social, for economical, cultural, spiritual, and civic affairs. If not all, at least most of them. I respect all the senior citizens in this August gathering because they constitute the live example for this term active aging. They are not only physically active because they are already here, they are also socially active, they want to learn new things and they want to contribute towards the society. So the senior citizens here themselves can be the examples for an active aging to be done. Recently the World Health Organization also brought a literature, and they found they just put a slide that how these 20 years can be spent. Because the life expectancy at the 60 in India is 17 years. So another 17 years, a person who has crossed 60 today will stay. And what he has to do for next 20 years. And what he does, it all depends upon his health. If health is not giving him the support, he may not do anything. So active aging aims to extend the healthy life. Whatever life he is going to have, which will extend his life expectancy and the quality of life as they grow old. So for this next 25 minutes, I will contribute more exclusively on the health and the social aspect, and the economic and civic affairs are not the preview of this audience and this stage. The peculiarities of the disease that we come across in the older people is most of the diseases have started way back in 20 years back or 15 years back or 10 years back. Now we are seeing the persons who are having the history of diabetes, hypertension, they say it is 20 years, 15 years. So they develop the disease at 40 years and complications as early as 60 years. So an old man comes not only with the known case of diabetes, he also comes with one of the complications, either retinopathy, neuropathy, or one of the pathies that they will have. Chronic conditions, they remain as comorbids throughout the life. They have to live with it, they live better with that. In fact, most people, they accept chronic diseases as the conditions. Even polyuria, a person who gets up in the night for 5 to 6 times to pass urine, and when we try to intervene, he says, no, don't worry about that, but only reduce my pain. Don't worry about urine. I'm used to that for last 10 years. I get up every night for 5 to 6 times to pass urine. Maybe he doesn't want to get cleared of that. So most of the older people, they say that I am comfort with the chronic conditions. It is the acute diseases which makes them unstable and bring away from the active aging, like pneumonia or urinary tract infection or even a fall in a bathroom can make them hinder their health problems, and most of the problems in older people are preventable and have simple solutions. Now, I am not a politician or I represent any of the political parties, but this photographs way back in Indian Express, maybe around 8 years back it has come, because most of the people you see them they are not alive now, and one of them is also suffering from Alzheimer's. So what this photograph conveys is that the politicians, I don't know how many of you agree, our politicians are the examples of active aging. They start their career at the age of 60, then they become ministers at 65, 70, socially they are active, they are contributing to the society. So many things they are doing, even of course the doctors and all those are working, but some examples where even being old, they contribute so much to the society at large. Now, for this 20 minutes, from the health point of view, I have made this active into this abbreviation. The A stands for the physically active in the active. C for the cognition. It's very important that old man maintains his cognition throughout his life. T for drug therapy. I for the prevention of certain diseases, especially falls and the osteoporosis in them. V for the vaccination. There is an immunization schedule for older people which can prevent acute diseases. And one social issue I like to touch upon, without which this talk should not end, that is an elder abuse. So that also hampers the health of the older people. So the active here stands for physical active, cognition, drug therapy, prevention, vaccination, and elder abuse. Now physically active means, I was telling you a lot of examples and has been talked by various speakers till the morning. There's Swamiji from Tumkur, he is now 109 years old, he still chants mantras, he gives lectures, he signs, he runs institutes. This lady from Jaipur won the marathon recently. She is 67 years old, and that was a surprise. They are all the examples of their being physically active. And what morning sir was talking about, Fauji Singh, who ran a marathon, he is now 105 years old. He is still active. He is moved around. He is socially active. He contributes to the society, and he is physically active as well. This lady's photo, most of you must have seen on the WhatsApp, which made us circles, that at the age of 87, she cooks, she serves, she earns on her own, she moves around and enjoys her life alone in all the aspects of the components of what we call as active aging. So to keep active, what we can recommend, not only for the older people, is also for the young generation. So to be active, always don't take the escalators or the lift, always follow this leave lift, lift fit and leave fit. This photograph also has a relevance that among all the exercises that an older person can do, the best one is climbing the stairs. The best one is the climbing the stairs. Climbing stairs will not only add calcium to your bones, but also it tunes your muscles of the joints so that the person may not fall. So climbing stairs is one of the best exercise a older person can do in his lifetime, even if he cannot do any other exercises. And of course, most of the concepts of Tai Chi have come, and you must be aware that there are centers which provide Tai Chi. This says that it prevents falls in older person and gives a goodwill effect. Yoga or yoga, whatever we say, is of course we all aware of it. There's nothing much to talk because India is on the verge, and even walking is a good exercise for the older people. And we keep telling them, once we tell them exercise, they say, oh, at this age you want me to exercise. So immediate response there comes, but this is how the counseling is done for the older people and is required. So that was the physical activity. Second is cognition. It's very, very important to keep the mind active as we grow old. We just cannot say that I am now retired and I don't want to work, I finish everything and I just sit and do it. No, the idle mind is very dangerous. So what we recommend them, the older people, is to keep the mind active. We tell them to start doing the things which you could not do in the last 50 years, maybe because of the responsibilities of marriage or children's education, what all the family or domestic problem we had you could not do. Now that you are retired, you start learning new things. Start learning how to operate computer, start learning mobile. Now I am happy to see most of the older people are carrying apps-based mobile phones. Means they are learning. That's a good thing. They should keep active, and they should be learn to play music. If they are not happy of playing instruments, they should learn. Be social. They should participate in all the programs that they're invited for the marriage or whatever they wish to attend, and they have to play games, and most importantly, clapping. Even what we tell for the senior citizen forums is when they go for a morning walk and when many people are sitting together, just to clap for 5 to 10 minutes. I see that there's a shortage of claps that has taking place since morning, because clapping is a very good exercise. By clapping, you will improve the circulation in the brain, and that also helps you to keep your brain active. So I don't expect the claps, but the clapping is a good exercise that one can do, a simple exercise sitting, and that can be followed to keep our cognition improved. And of course, most of the older people and younger generation are also fond of solving these games and solving such problems. Most of you know that comes in the newspaper, and that should be practiced every day to keep our mind active. The most important thing is putting the things in the odd way. Now suppose if you are brushing your teeth every day with the right hand, why don't you try with your left hand tomorrow? That is very, very important. So what you are doing daily with the right hand, do it tomorrow with the left hand. That will add to the activity of the other half of the brain which was inactive till now. So such things are prescribed to the older people to keep their brain active. It doesn't cost anything, it does not require any investment, it has to be practiced only. Now another test, I think most of you are aware of this, that if I tell you that the word, though it is red, written red, but you should read in the color which is printed, which it is in printed. Now it is white. Yes, this is red. So though it is written white, such examples should be given. We keep such papers in our OPD so that whenever they are in the waiting hall, they try these exercises for them, and we keep such things. Whoever are interested, they can keep solving them in the geriatric OPD. Now the third concept is the drug therapy. It's very, very important, the pharmacological aspect in the older people. Most of the diseases are due to either over-treated or under-treated. We see a lot of cases, especially diabetic and hypertensive, they are over-treated, over-controlled, which is not required. So the main aim and the goal in the geriatric pharmacology is start low, go slow. Whenever if you are even hypertension of 180 by 100, start the lowest dose of the drug and go on increasing or adding to it over a period of time. There is no hurry to put the BP down very fast. So start slow and go slow, go on adding the increments of the drugs as and when you feel. What are the things that the elderly person or senior citizen should avoid is the polypharmacy. More than 5 drugs they are using, they are risk for dementia, they are risk for the fall, and they are risk for adverse drug reactions. So these can be best avoided in these people by just following, avoid as many pills as possible, and we keep telling the older people that there is no required for a pill for an every ill. They keep on complaining so many symptoms, and they ask why this drug is for, why this drug, what this drug does. Then we go on, we don't tell. There is no need for a pill for every ill. Some illness will disappear on its own. And drug meant for others. This is a common phenomenon in the walking club or the walkers club or the joggers club in the morning that the senior citizen keeps telling, your joint pain is not reducing. I have met Sandeep last week, he has given me this tablet, why don't you try this? So the interaction or change of the drugs from person to person goes on without consulting the doctor. So they should avoid use of the drug meant for others. Mixing the various pathies. So they use Ayurveda, homeopathy, Unani and or allopathic drugs. So all the 4 drugs have been used by the same person. That should be purely avoided. There's a lot of scientific evidence to say that such things should be avoided. Stick to one pathy or one system of medicine that will help you to cure the disease. And churums. Most of the churums, they all contain lead, and they can lead to dementia and constipation. And though they are taken to relieve the constipation, but it can lead to intestinal problems as well as dementia. And of course, on the counter drugs, they are very fond of getting the drugs on the counter from the grandson, and they keep ingesting NSAIDs for their pain. And of course, drug abuse. For every geriatric patient, we take the history of drug abuse. Yes, one of them will be there in every adherent patient. You get either alprazolam or laxative or NSAIDs. The 4th is the immunization. There is an immunization schedule for older people which can prevent the common preventable diseases and the diseases which have got high mortality, especially pneumonia in older people. Pneumococcal pneumonia can be best prevented by 1 shot of pneumovax vaccine once in 5 years for all those who cross 60 years. Tetanus is very cheapest available, so 1 dose after reaching 60 years. Influenza vaccine should be given to all older people every year, especially in the winter season, in November to December, the strain that appears and the injection that we get across in India. Hepatitis B can be given at the 3 doses as we fall in the younger generation, and herpes zoster, the Zostavax, that is for 1 dose after reaching 60 years, can be given to the older people. So this is a recommended immunization schedule for older people all over the world, and almost all these vaccines are available in India as well as in Pune. I think Dr. Sandeep is practicing all these vaccines to be given to the older people. And of course, we have been discussed about this. What is important is, apart from what orthopedic surgeons have been talking since in the morning, of course I agree, though I have written 1,000 units, it is for an institutional elderly. Though 800 international units per day is recommended on the maintenance dose, what this is mentioned is for the institutional elderly. Those elderly patients who are admitted in the hospital for the long term, say 15 days, 20 days or 30 days for various reasons, they should be administered with vitamin D and calcium. And we should also avoid long-term steroids, tobacco, obesity, and antacids. Especially the mucin gel and the Digene gel, they are most dangerous gels that can be used in the older people, and they can lead to osteoporosis in a certain group of population. And we recommend them to go for a morning walk, exercise, take the food rich in calcium and vitamin D3, and avoid alcohol and avoid what is to be done. As I am now a retired person, I want to sit, I want to do whatever I want to do, but this is not they should do. Having a glass of beer and a cigarette and becoming lazy, and this all leads to problem and inactive life, and they'll be inviting a lot of diseases in them. Now a few words about prevention. One was that osteoporosis, second is falls, is very, very important, because a fall prevented saves at least 3 lakhs rupees for a family. I hope most of you will be having a grandmother or grandfather in your house, and please remember, a fall prevented is almost saving like a 3 lakhs or 4 lakhs rupees for when you get operated in a corporate hospital. So there was a word about use of these are pads. Most of the Western world use, even in India they are available. but most of the elders, they are not convenient or comfortable with using pads. Though if some people do use, if they fall, it can prevent. And avoiding the clusters or wires in the house should be given importance. Otherwise, an old man may fall in your house. And especially the spectacles having both the lenses for a near distance and long distance should be avoided, should or must be avoided to avoid a fall in older people. We recommend them to have two spectacles rather than a same spectacle with two glasses, because this is the greatest risk factor for fall in older people. And for the hospitalized people, or for those who are running a hospital, handling the senior citizens, we do practice that we put a mattress by the side. It's a cushion mattress by the side of the cot in our hospital, so that even the older people falls in the night, the general ward, he should not develop injuries in the hospital. So a simple mattress used by the side of the cot only during the night hours, so that you can prevent fall related injuries in the patient. And next very important thing is alprazolam. With this should not be used. Even in Beer's criteria, it is clearly mentioned, avoid alprazolam. This will lead to fall. All diazepams are the risk factors for the falls in elderly. And very important thing is, in your bathroom, old man is there in your house, always keep the light on in the night hours. Never switch off the light in the night hours. Keep it on so that whenever he goes to bathroom, he should not fall. And this is the most risk factor for older people. We always tell them, you climb the stairs, get down by the lift. Because it is while climbing down, they are at the risk for fall rather than while they are climbing. Climbing is the best thing, best exercise, while getting down is the risk for a fall. And of course, saluting to this gentleman who was very much from here, what I want to convey through this is, wearing a dhoti is also a risk factor for a fall. So we see a lot of older people wearing dhoti and they fall, tremble and fall. So these are the common risk factors which can be prevented in the fall. And there is also one simple test which I like to demonstrate to identify how can it make sure that old person is likely to fall. So I just demonstrate one simple step. You just observe the person, older man sitting on the chair and getting up from the chair. When you tell him to get up, any man will get up directly like this and walk around. Whereas the old man who gets up with holding both the arms and chest and he gets up, he is likely to fall. If you observe the old man getting up from the chair and he is holding both the arms and then he's taking the help of the chest and then he's getting up, he is likely to fall. Maybe today or any other time. So this is a simple test in the OPD that allows us to identify whether he is at risk of fall or not. Some other preventions, a good night's sleep, I was telling you, older persons require good night's sleep. Any symptom that disturbs the sleep should be attended and solved. And dental hygiene, oral hygiene, there is a dedicated talk by Dr. Smith, I think tomorrow. That is a good thing that has been added in this. Of course, control of diabetes and hypertension. We don't use stringent measures to control diabetes and hypertension. Older people, maybe 70 plus or 80 plus, there is a limit, even all the associations have given. Doctors, many patients ask, can I have aspirin a day? Yes, you can have aspirin a day provided you have diabetes, you have hypertension, you have lipidemia. But remember, this will lead to anemia sometime. So we put on, as a geriatrician, I prefer to put patients on clopidogrel rather than aspirin. And most of my ischemic heart disease patients suffering from ischemic heart disease, we have shifted them from aspirin to the clopidogrel because only fear of anemia in them. And of course, if they need a dentures or a hearing aids or a cataract surgery, they should be done upright as and when it is required, immediate basis, because this will hamper the very purpose of active aging. Because of this, they avoid moving around, they avoid meeting their friends, and the purpose of active aging is not fun. And a lot of older people require motivation. This is one of the pictures from old age home in Mumbai, where older people are made to celebrate their birthdays and all. And what is important is, you see what is missing. And though there is part of an active aging, there will be a talk tomorrow again, and these people require more motivation. Lastly, a few words about elder abuse. This is, though a social problem, was a social problem, but now it is also a medical problem. most of the older people subjected to elder abuse, they suffer from medical problems which a clinician fails to identify. Despite taking 3 antihypertensive drugs and 3 oral hypoglycemic drugs, there is no control of diabetes or hypertension, then a clinician should suspect that, am I dealing with the older man who is abused in house? And most of the times the answer will be yes. Yes. So most of the time older people will not come and tell that my daughter-in-law hits me, my son does this, that my son has made me bankrupt. All those, nobody will come and tell unless you ask. Is there a problem in your house? And it will take confidence from the older people to come and talk to you. And also, if he wishes, he says, don't tell to my son. Or he waits till his daughter-in-law is in your consultation room. Once she goes out, then he starts relieving all the things that is in his mind. That yes, I have a problem. My daughter-in-law doesn't give me food properly. My son doesn't take it. So many issues are there. We need to address those things by not talking to the abuser, but by doing counseling on the older people. So the abuse on the older people leads to isolation, depression, anxiety, suicide attempts, and poor quality of life. And of course, our geriatric clinic has come with a questionnaire for the clinicians. The first time in India, the questionnaire has been brought up for the clinician to detect abuse in older people, because elder abuse is not taught in the medical colleges, only for the geriatricians it is taught. So this questionnaire has been widely available. Even on the Google you can put this questionnaire and you can try. So it is waiting for validation, and this questionnaire has to be can be very simple questionnaire, observational questionnaire by me. Now there is an entity called active aging index. Another 2 minutes. So active aging index, the good thing is what the United Nations have done is, according to these 4 components of the older people, whether they are employed, whether they are participating in society, independent, healthy, and their capacity and enabling the environment for active aging, what they have found in India, they have done a survey in 7 most populous states of older people, and in that Maharashtra tops 2. This means the older people in Maharashtra are more active than other older people elsewhere in West Bengal or Tamil Nadu or even other states. Among these 7 states, the older people in Maharashtra are inactive. That's a good thing that is happening in Maharashtra state. And what else is happening is, the western state of Maharashtra, what they came out of the conclusion is, the western state of Maharashtra has the active aging index is similar to the people or the older people living in various countries like Bulgaria, Greece, and that is another good news. So the older people here are very active. That's a good thing that I want to convey. The active aging concept is growing so fast that there was a congress on active aging recently in Australia too. So people are now inclining towards active aging. I thank Dr. Sandeep for bringing this issue in this Jericon 2016. So friends, the take-home message is, the older people are a wonderful resource person for their families, not only for families, but for communities and to the nation as well. Prevent ill health and disability should be the main goal in all the older people and all the clinicians who are dealing with the older people. And so far, what has been done by most of the clinicians all over the world, or most of the policymakers, is they have added years to the life, and now it is we who should add life to the years. So it is our responsibility to make sure that we give the best life, whatever the remaining years in the older people. So active aging is an investment and not a cost. So if you even prevent a fall in your parents or grandparents, you are saving a lot of money. Okay, even if you prevent a dementia, a person will live for another 8-10 years in your house. A lot of problems in the house will prevent, and so such things has to be done. So invest on active aging from now itself, whether you are old or young. Think of active aging as from today itself. So thank you very much for your patience here.